Hi everyone, it's Danielle and today's day 56 of my 100-day video blog. I'm at the shop and it's very rainy, which I happen to love the rain, and I thought it would be useful to talk about the subject of a meme I posted today that really seems to resonate with people. And basically it comes from a saying that sometimes rejection is God's protection. So as I look back, I have the opportunity to reflect and use hindsight to see with clarity that sometimes some of the most devastating and upsetting losses have turned into blessings. So it ranges from relationships that I may have desired that were unrequited and not reciprocated. So, there have been occasions where I've really wanted to date someone only to find out information that there was somebody better for me that was meant to be my partner. Or in the case of jobs, I have had many different job opportunities that I thought were the perfect opportunity and all the stars seemed to align, and that leading up to that, everything seemed stacked in my favor. And then I found myself very upset and confused as to why it didn't happen. Only to find out 6 months later, oh, thank God, that hiring manager was a disaster and the company's a sham and blah, blah, blah. It's happened on more than one occasion. So this premise can be used time and time again. And I know that after I was laid off from my corporate job, it was very devastating because, it was what you call a tower moment. I had recently just gutted my house for renovations, and I was looking at least 6 months of home renovations, and I didn't have a job and an income, and I was paying for a rental plus my mortgage plus construction, and it was so devastating. But the blessing that I was able to look back and reflect is that I was able to be home and available to provide service and care for my ailing mother-in-law, who I was able to spend time with her that I never would have had the opportunity to do. And she and I were very close, and I was able to provide care to her. I decided to take a different type of a role after that point, rather than go to, an obvious, very similar parallel role where I accepted less money for different job challenges because I was ready for a change. So if I never got laid off, I very well would still be doing the same thing, where I was under extraordinary stress and it was no longer serving the lifestyle that I really was yearning for, because I was really quite burned out and very stressed, and I was looking for more balance in my life. So I took a different job for less pay, and then that less pay, even though I didn't know it, wound up positioning me in a better financial situation or adjustment that I can then take a step down to entrepreneurialism, because I learned how to live on less. So if I went from the role that I was doing, it would have been almost impossible to make that adjustment. So even though I didn't see it as it was happening, I had faith in using my intuition that I was being guided to something better. So with the term, God in rejection, or rejection can be God's protection, or sometimes when we're faced with rejection, it's because the universe is preparing to send us something better. I totally believe that, because if it was meant to be, it would be. Then you would be a natural flow and it would automatically happen. If that was your dream person for a relationship, then there would be a natural ease and a flow, and that would be your person. So, I've had occasions where I've really been interested in someone and I'm like, oh, this is really great, cool. And then it wound up not working out. And I'm like, oh, well, that was upsetting, or that was devastating, or the person's chosen somebody else. It's like a blow to the ego sometimes, you know, like everybody's been through it. But what I have found is, you know, maybe there's somebody that's better suited for me that I haven't even met yet. So if I spend time with this person, I never would have met the right person for me. If I didn't let go of a situation that wasn't serving me, then I wouldn't be finding the one that was, because that has to clear out before I have what's supposed to come to me. And I'm finding that more and more that I surrender and I just say like, okay, it's upsetting. Like I didn't get that job that I wanted. And it was perfect. Well, there was one role that I was like a shoo-in. I was the number one top candidate. I was supposed to get it. The hiring manager wanted me as their top pick. Their colleagues wanted me as their top pick. And then at the 11th hour, one person came in and said, nope, you're hiring the other person. And I was so upset. I was like mad. I was angry. I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe that happened. Only to find that 6 months later, the hiring manager, that I was her top pick, she said, you know what? Thank God you didn't get that job, because the company's a mess. It's going downhill. You were the best part, but the person that came in, he was he was awful to work with, and I'm out of here. I was like, well, thank God I dodged that bullet. I didn't know that at the time. So use this faith. Like when you do face rejection, try to keep it managed and say like, all right, you know what? It's disappointing. I really wanted that job, or I really liked that guy and I really thought he was going to be the person, or, you know, I really don't understand why that happened. I did everything right. Well, you can do everything right, but if it's not meant for you, perhaps it's because you're being guided for something else. I mean, I remember when I was really at the point of like stress out, burnout, not getting along well with my ex-husband, but we're still married. I was having, you know, strained relations with the kids, and I really wanted to have better time with them. I could have found another job in the industry that I'm an expert at. I'm very, very good at what I used to do. I love what I used to do, but it became too much that it was no longer serving the lifestyle that I wanted. So I was supposed to go back and start interviewing for all of these different roles, and I did apply for a number of different roles, and then the timing got put off for the job, and, you know, the stars weren't aligning. And I was like, you know what? And then when the time came, I just really believed, like, I'm not meant to go back. I'm not meant to do that, because that chapter, like, the universe is pushing me in a different direction. And I had to trust that. And I had to have faith and say like, all right, I'm going to take that leap of faith. And it's panned out. It's worked out. So like I said, you know what? If I don't do this, if I don't try this, then I'm always going to say like, what if? What if? What if? What if? But if I kept beating my head against a wall and kept doing the old jobs and the old things that I used to do, nothing would change. I would still be stressed out. I would still have strained relations. I would still be unsettled, because that would be like forcing my will rather than surrendering my will and saying like, I'm going to go with the flow of the universe, which guided me to this beautiful shop. I can't believe this is my store. If you met me, we haven't even come up on a year. Next month is 1 year. You know, this was an empty box. This was a dream. Last year, I was just creating this. And 2 years ago, I was an advertising executive in Manhattan. Like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. I could never have dreamed this. I could never have experienced it. I could never have thought that this would be the case. There's a yoga class going on right now, upstairs, above me. There's a yoga class. And then there's an astrology class happening later. I have a community center of healing and learning, and it's awesome. But had I not learned to surrender my will, this never would have happened. I would have just kept doing the same thing over and over and over again and had the same results. So have faith that sometimes when things become so uncomfortable and that you're rejected and you keep hitting a wall, because you keep trying to do the same thing over and over again and you are not meeting with success, it's because you're being redirected. So be open to new opportunities and new avenues, because you don't know how wonderful the next turn can be. Or you don't know if your dream person is going to be coming into your space after things don't work out with your old type. Be open to change, be open to possibilities. And don't be so devastated that you become a hermit, that you're not open to new things, because like there's a reason why you were faced with that rejection. And I read another meme today that really resonated, and it said, beautiful, expensive things are rejected all the time by people who can't afford them. So know your worth and know who's giving that feedback, who's rejecting you. Maybe you've ascended. Maybe you are at a different level, and that's just no longer serving you. So go with that and move forward, have faith, and just keep going with it, okay? Good things are coming. Have a great day. Bye.